What is going on, YouTube? This is The Last Musketeer, and welcome back to the next progress video. So once again, this one's going to be split into three pieces because basically I have so much content to go through each week that I really need a lot of videos. Now, I mean, maybe I could necessarily skip some of the stages and stuff, but I think it's necessary progression-wise, especially chapters. Do not skip any, though. If you would rather me just show the more key moments, I can do that going forward. But the main thing is, I'm going to put out another video putting all three parts together. So if you'd rather watch the long form content, then we'll have that option as well. I'll probably start doing that from now on. It seems people would rather watch it in that way. But I gotta say, there are 2 or 3 different of the CC vids in this, because during CC I was doing a lot of auto deploy, just trying to get some more materials, something to upgrade some of my operators, because for the most part CC took a ton of time, and while I do miss it, part of me doesn't at the same time, because I love the strategy aspect. I love how hard it is and what you really have to pay attention to as far as dropping and placement of operators. I think it teaches you a ton about how to focus on things in the game itself that really change your playstyle quite a lot, and so for that I'm very thankful. One thing I am not going to miss, however, is the amount of time it took to do all of these every day, because you get off work, you have a limited time. I've got 2-3 different things I have to work on, 2 other series that I'm working on, and it just takes so much time. So in a way I miss it, but at least I get to save some of my IRL sanity going forward, since this one's going to be gone. But this map was actually fun. I think both times I enjoyed it quite a lot. This one, I've already taken out everything I need, and I can leak 2 more to get it done, so I just went ahead and leaked these. These last 2 guys hit extremely hard, especially the dragon vases, because they were the ones that actually got buffed, I believe, during that CC. So we're leaking these. Luckily, they have enough pity on me to let me leak these without losing any of the rewards or anything like that. So fantastic to see. We get that one done. And at this point, I'm still doing some desperation pulls, because I had not quite pulled Mudrock, and I was 23 away. Now, I had done a stream on Sunday thinking that I was going to be able to get it done. I had 20 guarantee from Lungman Downtown, so realistically I'm only missing 3 at this point. So my first thought was during that stream that I was going to be able to do the CC, get the rewards, and then grab some of the potential disc for the actual operators from the CC store and be able to get distinctions from that. But since I learned that you couldn't do that, it was back to desperation pulling and figuring out what I could do. Now, somebody in the Discord, I don't remember who it was, it might have been Tano, if I'm thinking correctly, actually told me that you could get some of the distinctions from first time summons from the record recollection in this one. So I decided to go ahead and do that, because it's very cheap to spend, and you know, that's extra operators that if at one point I wanted to build, I can. So, you know, to me, I thought that was a great idea. Doesn't take many red certs. Honestly, I think it took 100, which isn't that bad in all actuality. I had like around 170, I think, at that point. So that gave me the 3 I need. So now I had to get through Lungman Downtown, and this has got to be the worst feeling, so you get to sit and look at it the same way I did. So what I should have done, and I see it when I go back in the vid, because Beagle is tanking these guys enough, I could have activated Fiametta's ability, taken out that drone before it got there, and I would have got it. And that was literally the first run, but I did another one, lost another one after that, lost another one with no health left on this guy, but nothing to redeploy with. I'm 12 cost off of getting that guy gone and getting another run. And coincidentally, I didn't actually show the completion of it. I apparently didn't record it, either that or I accidentally deleted it. So now you're getting an after view of me purchasing Mudrock, and I gotta say, this is my first one from the Distinction store, and it is the most satisfying feeling ever. So now we have Mudrock. It's going to be a massive upgrade to my account as soon as I can get her E2, because that's the biggest deal. She has to be E2 to really take full advantage of it because of the shield healing, and also trying to get the masteries to make this a little bit stronger. So E2's the biggest thing I got to get to, and now I'm just looking for resources. So when I take her to 50, I do not have enough to promote her currently. That's how bad my LMD is. So I went over and looked, because I was doing this, I think, streaming through one of the Discord voice channels. And so I went ahead and ran this because I had not completed CE6 before. So I went ahead and threw this in here so you can see it was actually a lot easier than I thought it was. I played the previous version of it, CE5, and I had a lot harder time with that, so I was pleasantly surprised to see that this one wasn't that bad. Now the thing about it is, it only rewards 10k for 36 sanity. I don't necessarily think that's worth it, but in a way, if I'm potentially got full sanity and I need something, I don't have time to actually run some like campaign stages or something, then I can do it for a little extra resources over time. But I think there's a lot of locations where it's more viable to use your sanity for something, because you can get it from the factory, the LMD from there. I also have some IS2 runs that I'm currently trying to do to get more of the LMD, because I believe it gives you up to like 1 million LMD altogether through IS2? I could be wrong, I think somebody told me that. So if that's the case, that's quite a lot. I can take a couple of huge upgrades, maybe get Mudrock to E2, and then potentially take someone like Gavial to E2 as well, which would be huge, because in Centurion getting to E2 means an extra block, which means her pull from skill 2 is going to be a lot more fun. But that's over time, and potentially there's a few 4 stars that I'd probably rather take up right away, because I do have an abundance of guards, which can overall be a problem if I'm focusing too much on that. I think I really need to get Bagpipe up to E2 before Gavial anyway, so we'll see what we do. I just got to figure out what I want to accomplish with that overall. But CE6 is done. Really, actually, kind of a pleasant stage, but as you see here, I did a little bit of grinding, got the rest of the supplies to promote her to E1, and from this point, it's all about getting into her 80, which is very, very costly, so that took a bit of time, but also getting her skills to rank 7, because honestly, if you don't have them all the way leveled up, you're kind of just wasting. I would put forth anyone that you're actually trying to get to 7, you should take that time and make sure that you take them all the way to 7 when you do it, because don't be like me and forget what you're doing half the time, because that is what I tend to do. I'll take one up to like 3 or 4, run out of supplies, and then I'll forget to actually go through and farm the resources. So by the time I go back and I'm using that operator in a lot of situations, I realize I don't have enough to actually do anything with it. So we're doing the next CC run. This one actually was one of the worst ones for me, I think. I hated this one. I tried the first version of it a lot of times, didn't have the time to actually finish the first version, or the first run through of it. And so we're doing the second one to Riskate, which luckily I was able to do. And once again, Chin Altar is actually saving the day. I also put Thorn and Mudrock in bottom lane. Now Mudrock is like level E1 13, I think, at this, with probably max skills by the time I did this. So I mean, she could do a little bit, but not a lot. The main thing is making sure that I bait all the turrets to top lane one at a time, because if I mistime anything, and I have multiple drops, I have Yano, I have Gravel, I have Cantabile for that, but if I summon any of the turrets in there with the risk that I have on, those turrets are going to absolutely decimate my entire squad. So that's the thing I had to watch for the most, making sure I got the correct timing. So you'll see a lot of swapping between 2 times and 1 time, just to speed things up, while also making sure that I don't go too fast and mess up the timing of something. So luckily, the guys that send out the drones only have a reach of 2 tiles from their location. So as long as someone is not in the spot above Chin Altar, then I'm actually fine, and I'm not going to have to worry about the turrets coming in and decimating me. Now, I do let a couple of people by, which is very, very risky, of course, but I had ran this enough to basically get the timing down. So I had a good idea of what I was doing at this point, and I figured if worse comes to worse, I do have extra blockers. I can bait the big guys in the front. I do that with Yato on bottom lane because I know that one's going to take a little bit longer to take out. The other ones are not going to be stopped by a blocker up top, so they will go down just in time there. Now bottom lane, that turret comes out, it wipes my whole squad. Guarantee I lose there, so I had to drop Yato early, which I have plenty of blockers as well, so getting these turrets out up top is still not a problem. And once again, they come through and the bottom lane almost gets his sentry off, which would have been horrible. Luckily, it was only the regen one. Now, I throw Beagle down. She's out of range of both of the turrets up top, luckily. Though I threw Gavial down and almost got them both nuked, which would have been horrible. I would have had to restart. But yeah, we got it done, and that's going to end the first part of the video, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.